Hello and welcome to Averages Assemble, the average podcast hosted by average guys that know a pretty average amount about an average amount. And we're going to talk about it anyway. My name is Lewis and I'm here with
George. Hello, everyone.
Hello,
and today we're going to be ranking our MCU films. Well, they're not our MCU films; they're our ranking of the MCU films. Because why not? You know, get to know us a bit more. You've had one episode, and we
want to give you
for
a
about
reason
an hour
to hate us, basically.
Yes.
Or agree with us.
Well, we'll start off downhill, and then we can work up together.
I don't think any of these films are bad, but I think they're all well made and they're all passable. It's just some of them are more boring than other ones,
and also some of them I have seen more times than I care to count, and the other ones I've seen once. That was good, and never seen it again, or twice, because I think I've seen all of these in cinema. But anyway, enough rambling. Should we just kick it off?
So I thought maybe each time we mention a film, because I've got the old I don't know if you're familiar with the website Rotti Tomotties.
Yes, I am.
Yep. Okay, so I've got the Rotti Tomotti scores over here.
Right.
I thought, seeing as we're English, very English, we could give it, instead of a Rotten Tomatoes score, we could give it a slightly out of date crumpet score. What would you think about that?
I'm speechless. So we either have a fresh or a rotten crumpet.
Yeah. So it's a nice buttery crumpet, or one that's been
moldy...
put in the toaster and you've forgotten about it and it's been sat there for 4 days.
Okay.
Slightly out of date or freshly baked.
Fresh bread or I want to be dead.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go.
Okay. Enough. We'll get on. We'll get on with it.
Let's get into it. Okay. I'm even sort of like tossing and turning in my own mind right now, but I've put Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Really?
At the bottom of my list, and I just want to. Paul Rudd is probably my favorite actor. I love him, but this film is so boring.
Well, we'll talk about it when we both get to it, because that is nowhere near the bottom of mine.
Yeah.
In fact,
I'm not even sure now.
I'm rejudging where I put it now, because I'm looking at some of the films underneath. I think, it's not as good as them.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I'm like, am I trying to outthink my own system?
I think we should just not think about it. We'll just say it, and then we'll just live with the consequences.
All right. Well, unsurprisingly, at the bottom I have the Incredible Hulk. Despite your incredible video,
oh my God.
It is a film I saw once, and it may have been once too many.
Oh my God. For those who don't know, I am a stark defender of the Incredible Hulk.
He's had a recent Hulk renaissance in that.
Yeah.
Again, as you said, none of these are inherently bad films. They're all perfectly fine.
I can understand why you put it down there, though. I'm not gonna lie. As I said, is the estranged uncle of the MCU.
Even in a biscuit tub, there's one that's always left till the end, and
there's a little bit crumbled
or a packet of crumpets. Yeah. There's always there we are. Okay. So what have you got next?
Don't quite get to. Okay, so second to last, I've got Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, I got Thor: The Dark World. Actually, I've written Thor: The Dark Thor there.
Thor: The Dark Crumpet.
Yes.
Let's just say, like when you have a crumpet and the top's all like spongy kind of thing, and then the bottom a lot of the time is just like a flat brown kind of like
proper like
hard bit. Yeah, this film is all of that bit.
It is. It's just I think it's a victim of its own, of the MCU's own growth, because it was at this point where it was like, okay, we've had the end of the world for like 6, 7 films now, and and Malekith was just what there was.
Absolutely
there was so
zero
much
character development.
Zero character, development. Like, he was. Yeah. But then also, I think you had the kind of. I think the problem with the earlier Thor, I say earlier Thor films, but like, it's kind of the Loki show featuring Thor. And I feel like they very much knew that was the attraction.
Well, after the Avengers, I think Thor wasn't exactly the most popular character, but everyone loved Loki, didn't they? Back in day.
Thing is, and it feels hard. See, this is what I mean. I was thinking about. I don't know if I'm overthinking it, but do they want to? Is it a kind of case of people like Loki. Let's kind of see if we can redeem him to be a bit more of an anti-hero. So we need a villain, but do they just want a villain for a villain's sake, which is where you get a Malekith?
Yeah, I
feel like if they committed,
but I think
could have had something a bit more complex.
This came out a year after the Avengers, and I don't think they could have gone, "Oh, Loki's the villain of another film" a year later. Do you know what I mean? Can they?
That's
so obviously
true.
They bring in Malekith, give him no character. He's just an angry elf. He's the angry elf.
That's his whole shtick.
And it's just kind of boring.
It is. It's the film I think everyone thinks every Marvel film is.
Yeah.
Who hasn't seen a Marvel film? Yeah, like you watch it and you think, okay. There is one cool moment where during the prison escape where like Thor hears the bell and Frigga is his mum.
Frigga, his mum is. Yeah, I think it's Frigga.
Like, I'll look after it. You go, and he jumps off the balcony and he calls the hammer as he's falling. That 5 seconds is like the best moment of the film.
Yeah,
which I think goes to show is just him.
I would argue the opening scene. I don't know if it's the opening scene, but where they're all fighting on that other planet, on the other realm, and he fights the rock guy, and he swings his hammer around.
Oh yeah.
I like that's the
sort of the old Odin bit.
No, but that's the sort of Thor action that I thought was going to be in the Thor films. Like him sort of in quote unquote medieval kind of sense of like in monsters and all that sort of thing. And that's what I thought we were going to get in the film. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, that was fine. It was okay.
I'm jumping ahead a bit here, but like that's why I wasn't the biggest fan of Ragnarok, because they clearly went, oh, the Guardians did well. Make Thor like the Guardians.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had we had the Guardians doing the fun 80s stuff.
Yeah.
Put Thor in that medieval realm. I know it doesn't work. Well, it should have.
It works
because
well.
It clearly has for the last 70 years.
If you do it well, it will work well.
And you could have had that contrast between like, it'd be like if at the end of the world you were part of a ragtag team and Prince William was part of it.
Yeah. Well, it also that would give Thor his things. You got like the tech guy who's like Iron Man, who's like the films are about all his technology, and then you got like the soldier, and then you got the Guardians, which are like funny space guys, and then you could have like this medieval-y sort of, like warriors with hammers and swords. But no, they go and make it again just like sciencey space alien wizard guys, which I guess he is. But
I think Thor as a character suffers from the Superman issue where it is
too strong.
Like he's a bit too strong, so any threat is like he can beat him. And then the whole unaccustomed to Earth thing, well, that's covered by Captain America as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what purpose does he serve in this team? So
yeah, I think that's taking him away from Earth is the way to do it, isn't it? I think Thor.
Yeah, again, keep him well away.
Yeah,
and then like you said, explore those other worlds and what else is going on in the 9 realms.
There's bloody 9 realms, and they just stick to 2 or 3. What about Schlichtenheim? Huh?
Yeah. What about Lickmahain?
Oh. It's not very
right, I feel like we should move on.
We spent
too much about that.
Yeah. Okay. So above, next at number 22, I have Captain Marvel.
Ooh. Okay. I'm looking here. Oh, okay. Mine's not too far. I've got Doctor Strange here.
Oh, okay. So I've got him. He's not that much higher for me, but I think Captain Marvel was another one where I watched it a couple of times and I was like, it's fine. Like it's, but I don't know.
Serviceable. Yeah.
So
wait, you'd rather watch Captain Marvel than Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Do you know this thing? I think because I've seen the Ant-Man and the Wasp more. So I know everything about it and I know what I'm getting. Whereas Captain Marvel, I've seen, I think once, maybe. I think I've seen it twice. Once in the cinema and then once a long time ago. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So after that, what's your next one?
I have Iron Man 3.
Wow, our lists are very different. I have Guardians 2.
Well, I haven't got that too much higher. So I think generally we've got a lot of the same lower.
I think when we get to the top, it's going to get interesting.
Yeah. So my F tier that I had the lowest tier was Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Thor the Dark World, and Iron Man 3. Those I think are the ones I enjoyed the least. I think.
See, I don't know if I'm romanticizing some of these, like Phase 2 and like some of Phase 3 because they're the ones I've probably watched the least recently.
Yeah.
So I think like Iron Man 3, for example, I think I'm just remembering it fondly because it was after the Avengers that I got into these kind of films, and then Iron Man 3 came out straight away. By the time I'd seen Avengers and stuff, so I was like well on board.
So it was the first one that came out after you'd seen them all. It was the first new one after you.
Yeah, because I didn't see Avengers in cinema. I saw Avengers on DVD from Blockbuster, which just dates me perfectly.
I'm surprised Blockbuster is still around back in 2012.
Yeah, just about. Well, my dad for some reason had like a free rental once a week. Clearly, booming for business.
Yeah,
and it was like my turn to go in and just grab anything, whatever. Like fine. And I'd heard you talk about this Avengers film, and some other people online. I was like, fine, I'll check it out. I was like, I recognise Iron Man. I kind of know these people. Like, sure.
Yeah, Thor was in that Spider-Man cartoon that one time. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'd seen that. And obviously, so that's why I think things like Iron Man 3, I think I do hold a bit more bias for than I should. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. I've told you about my tight shoe analogy and my loose shoe and my no shoe ranking.
You have, you have.
I have, yeah.
So what is this? Just a loose shoe?
This is a loose shoe, like perfectly serviceable, but it needs tightening up in places.
Yeah, if you try and run on this film, your shoe's gonna fall off.
Like you could put this on to get the washing in, but I wouldn't wear it for going out.
Like your mum's high heel.
Well, I mean, I would wear them to go out, but
Okay, right.
I have no idea what ranking I'm on. Okay, so
I've done 4 so far. So
yeah. So
have you done 4?
With 4 in.
Okay, so next I had Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Oh, okay, interesting. I have Black Panther here. I was not a fan of 2017 films.
Well, I mean that makes sense because this is 2018.
Well, exactly.
But,
bad of a year.
I would have had Black Panther down lower, but I recently watched it, and I don't know if it was after Chadwick Boseman died or passed away, rest in peace. But I don't know if it made me appreciate it more, or if maybe it was placebo. I don't know, but I watched it again, and I really sort of paid attention to all the details and all that sort of stuff, and I ended up enjoying it a lot more than I did the first couple times.
Again, this is one of those films similar to Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange, where I haven't seen them since they first came out. And I think because there was so much hype around it, I think I was like, am I missing something? And again, I will admit, as you know, this film probably wasn't meant for me, but it wasn't meant for me. I don't want that to come off as negative. It's perfectly serviceable. Yeah. But I didn't fully connect with this one here.
Yeah. That's fair enough. I mean, I do think there is quite a few issues in primarily the third act of the film. Probably.
Yeah, it did feel very
a bit more work.
But then now we know what was going on.
Yeah.
I do feel like now I'm thinking I need to change.
You should feel horrible. You should.
Well, especially since of the film I've got it beneath as well.
Oh.
So what's your next film?
My next one was Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Okay, mine was Captain Marvel.
Okay, so So I think the Guardians 2 for me was just if you take the least, but the lesser good bits from the first Guardians film and just make a film out of that.
Yes, exactly. It was it's almost as if have you ever seen when Twitter or Reddit tries to write a film? If you've ever seen them try and include Deadpool in the MCU, and they're like, "Oh, he should just be in the background, not doing it or whatever." Yeah. It felt like the internet wrote this film, and it's like, oh, what?
They took one personality trait of each of the characters, and they used that for their entire character arc for the whole film, essentially.
Yeah,
the whole thing Drax does nothing other than say funny one-liners.
Do you remember he was that really nuanced character who wanted revenge for his daughter and wife, and he would just stop at nothing. He was known as Drax the Destroyer, and then this one he's complaining because his nipples hurt.
My nipples.
Exactly.
I did get a laugh at me in cinema.
The only touching bit, not the only touching bit, but the best bit with Drax, and this might be Drax's best moment overall. Is when Mantis does her emotional thing with him, and she just breaks down in tears. Because you think this poor guy, he's lost his wife and his kid, that's heartbreaking.
And
he's so
great.
unemotionally healthy, but he is emotionally healthy. But he can't express emotions. Yeah. He's just stoic. Like, that's such a good trait to have.
But then they do nothing with it for ever again. I mean, obviously, the only time you see them again is in Infinity War and Endgame, and they don't really have enough time to go into any of that. But I don't know. I feel like I've just bagged on this film more than I have the ones below it. But I do enjoy this film. Like, I still love the dynamics between the team, and obviously Yondu plays a bigger part, and Yondu's great, and all that sort of stuff.
See, again, that's a bit I never understood. Like the whole Yondu, like it just felt like it came out of nowhere. Like it was really rushed in the last minute. Oh yeah, Yondu's a good guy now. Like okay, but
but then I suppose they do go like it's like him and Rocket realizing that they're just mean to people because they don't like themselves, really, in a way.
But like they talk about how he's like Peter Quill's daddy. You know, the whole like he may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy.
I'm Barry Poppins, y'all. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the best bit in the whole film, hands down. Oh, actually, no, the prison escape with Baby Groot. Oh, that's some good.
See, there's some great moments in that film.
But yeah, but like all of that bit between Yondu and Star-Lord's like their relationship is told in flashbacks.
Yeah,
in that one moment,
and they didn't build it up.
Like there was absolutely no, especially from the first one where they try and capture him.
Yeah,
for the bounty. Well, they put a bounty on him,
and he's like, him in the tummy.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, he was always dead to me." Was he? Like,
he doesn't seem like he was going to eat you. Well, someone was going to eat you, something or other.
Yeah, like I can understand him being like, shouldn't have been a dad. It should have been like a mentor, or like, oh yeah, he was like, a nice like.
But then I guess if you're an 8-year-old kid that gets kidnapped and you spend your whole life with this man, you're probably going to end up seeing him as a sort of father figure. I guess.
Yeah, and that I guess.
Yeah, they probably just didn't flesh it out as much as they should have.
That's my main issue. It felt like that should have been in Guardians 3, but they knew they needed them gone for. Well, he couldn't be part of the core team for anything.
Yeah, because he'd wreck house.
Yeah,
with that arrow, solve everyone's problems.
And especially if he had a whole Ravager crew. Well, he did.
Yeah,
he doesn't anymore. But if he had like the Ravager ship,
murdered all my friends.
Felt like he should be a bit like. We need him gone, just whatever. Or Michael Rooker was like, I don't want to put blue makeup on for 6 hours every day, which is understandable.
You say that, but he did a cameo in Ragnarok that didn't. Well, it wasn't cameo because it didn't end up being in the film. But have you seen that deleted scene? It's when Hela is talking to Asgard's army.
Yeah.
And then Yondu just comes out of the crowd. Basically, I can't remember what he says to her, but he just walks out of the crowd like telling her to shut up or something. Have you not seen that?
I didn't know this. Yeah. No, I haven't found that.
Oh, maybe it's the bit where he's going to execute someone.
Yeah, it's the bit where he goes to execute her.
Yeah, I'm misremembering. My bad. My bad.
Oh, yeah. Why have they got sunglasses on?
Because it's sunny. What does he actually say? I can't remember.
You know where Kevin and Lou's offices are, y'all? That way.
Oh, Mary Poppins, y'all.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think it's... I think it was a...
Yeah, it's not actually like a scene. It was just like a funny moment.
That explains the sunglasses.
Yeah. I mean...
So...
Is it so far-fetched to think someone has sunglasses like in space? There's a lot of suns in space.
That is true, actually. Why is no one... They should all be wearing sunglasses. They stare at stars all the time. Okay, one other thing.
Sorry, Carol.
Before we move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Ego is like one of the worst villains.
You think? Right? You think? In terms of what do you think makes him bad?
The fact I can't think of anything. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think it was quite good, and it was the twist. I think the twist was like it might not have been the most like thought out thing ever, but it was a good twist. Like finding out that he's been killing all these other children because they can't harness his power. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I retract my previous statement. Yeah. I think it's just because I wanted to talk about him and I didn't have anything interesting to say.
His thing of I planted these seeds was an interesting idea, but then all I want to do is just engulf every planet. It was a bit like why?
Yeah, because then like,
what do you gain from that?
Yeah,
what could you gain that you don't already have?
He just wanted to be everywhere, fine, but like, if it was I want to reshape the Earth in my image or something, I want to experience life.
Like but then his image is just a planet with a face.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I didn't. I think the problem with me is if I want a villain, I want them to either be absolutely balls to the wall evil, or have a kind of sense we think,
I'd agree
you got a point. Whereas he just didn't do either of them.
Yeah, like, I guess. I mean, it was pretty evil putting a tumor in Quill's mum's head. That's pretty evil.
That was.
And
evil.
He killed all of his kids. Put their skulls he did say in a cave.
He regretted it. He was like, "Oh yeah, I did regret putting it in there." Like,
but
I don't know. He just felt like You had Kurt Russell, and I just felt like he was a bit wasted.
Yeah, he looked good though. Also,
it resulted in a big CGI punch fight with Pac-Man.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Goes back to our first point of, this sounds so bad. This film was written for Americans. Does that make sense?
I'm not going to comment on that. Yeah, Captain Marvel, 79%.
Yeah, I think. I don't know why I put this one so high. I think my thinking was because
you love women
you privately. Yeah, well, yes, it too. I'm a big soy boy cuck, but I prefer the stuff set on Earth. When given she's set, the first half of this film is set in space. I don't know why I put it this high up.
And the end of it,
but I think because it's got things like Shield and the Coulson nod, and like,
it's proper intertwined, and
it felt like Phase 1 MCU.
It probably should have been Phase 1 MCU.
Well, in an ideal world. But,
I know what you mean though. It was like sticking an MCU Phase 1, movie in between the two ends of Phase 3.
Yeah, like it was just almost a bit like, we're back home. Like,
yeah, and I think the reason I don't enjoy it more is because I feel like we've moved past that sort of origin story.
Oh yeah, 100% came at the wrong time. But for a character, I think it was a bit of a damned if they did, damned if they didn't, because I think you can argue she is one of the most important female characters in comics.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was a kind of, but at the same time, you had everyone tired of origin stories. So how do you introduce her in a way that you get general audiences and fans?
Then at the same time, Black Panther wasn't an origin story.
But he had the benefit of showing up in another film.
Yeah, maybe they should have put her in Endgame and then I don't know.
Well, that's what I mean.
You're
damned if they did or they didn't. Yeah. I think so I think the way that they executed it was good. I think the cast is fantastic. 60-year-old Sam Jackson leaves something to be desired. But,
running down that corridor.
That one bit.
You know, you see an old man like hobbling across the road. And you're like, I kind of want to get out and help him. But
surely had a double who could have done a bit of running for him.
Just put Samuel Jackson's face on another guy.
Exactly.
For that one scene.
For Shaft.
I'm sure it would have been fine. But no, we have him hobbling down the corridor.
Oh. What was the other bit I was going to make a point of? And the whole losing his eye bit. Like, given in Winter Soldier, that was such a big setup for it to be a
poignant moment.
Like,
and can you count cat like holding a cat as trusting somebody?
Barely.
And it
should have been like
a
Coulson
or someone
when Thingy was Ben Mendelsohn. Talos. When he was in his human form, and he was in the library or archives. That moment should have been it.
Yeah,
or because he was like, you're Ben Mendelsohn. I'll trust you, and then he stabs him in the eye or whatever he did.
Well, I suppose they wanted Talos to end up being a good guy, though, didn't they? Or just make it like Hugh. Oh, what's his name? The actual villain, Jude Law, not Hugh. Where am I getting that from? Hugh Laurie.
Probably, yeah.
Hugh Laurie got Samuel Jackson's eye out. I should call a doctor.
But yeah, it did feel a bit like, because then that could have led into him not trusting like governments, I think, which is the most Nick Fury thing of all. I've gone on enough about my love for Nick Fury as a character. So the fact that they did my man dirty, I'm so upset about. But
just disclaimer. I'm pretty sure I cut that bit out of
the last podcast. Yeah, that's fine.
Because it was like longer than the bit that we were talking about WandaVision. I was like,
that's fine.
I still have it though. So future release.
I still have your rant about Lego Batman losing the Oscars to Boss Baby somewhere.
was that one we recorded at uni?
Yeah, I think it's going to. I don't think I actually have it, but I did cut it out as a separate thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Captain Marvel. But yeah, I did enjoy like the 90s aesthetic. It shows us an MCU before we had an MCU.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like having it set in the 90s was showing an MCU world before we had an MCU.
Yeah.
So filling in those gaps with Coulson and Shield, like it was.
Yeah.
I think they did a decent enough job of showing.
Yeah, I don't know what else they could have done to make it like too much better. I mean, it's still an enjoyable film, I think, anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Again, I did this off like, hey, do you want to watch this film or this film? And if you're like, do you want to watch Captain Marvel or Black Panther, which is the one I've got above? Would I rather watch Captain Marvel? I think I'd rather not watch either. I think I like them equally.
You'd rather watch Avengers.
But I'd rather watch over Guardians 2. Guardians 2 and Doctor Strange.
That's fair enough. Should we move on to the next one? Okay, so next I've got Doctor Strange at 18.
Yeah, again,
it's passable film.
An origin story came too late in the MCU.
They didn't do enough with him. Like they could have done.
They didn't show off
more
his
with
powers
him.
enough.
Yeah, like they did in Infinity War.
Yeah, and again, it's that damned if they do, don't, because by that point everyone was tired of the big CGI fight at the end.
Yeah.
So it was this is a thinking way out of the
that was a bit. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it wasn't just a big CGI punch up at the end.
But you didn't get to see him use the range of his abilities that he can do, like in Infinity War.
But then I guess maybe in a way, like if they did that in Doctor Strange, when it came to Infinity War, you wouldn't be like, "Whoa, look at that! He turned that shit into butterflies." Oh, wow. So
that's true.
That was my cinema reaction. Wow,
oh.
Butterflies.
Oh. Zooey mama, butterflies. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like
passable. Phase 1 movie in Phase 3, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Then so
who did you have?
I had Iron Man 2 there.
See, I have Iron Man 2 only 2 spots above that, so it's round about the same. Sort of place.
Interesting. Okay, so what's your next one?
My next one's Ant-Man.
Really?
I've got both Ant-Men quite low. Both Ant-Men quite low, but I love Ant-Man. I love him.
Mine are like 4 apart from each other. Not too far away. My next one is Thor.
See, Thor is a couple. Thor was above Iron Man 2 for me. I think they're around the same.
Yeah. I did that. I think I haven't had an oversaturation from Thor because my dad had a moment of watching it all the time for some reason.
Too many Dutch
angles. And it's good, and it's just like a bit.
It's too much Earth stuff.
Yeah, we needed this to set him up for the Avengers. That was literally.
That's all. Yeah, that is all it's for. But I think they all had good performances. Everyone's well cast.
Yeah, even Fandral, who gets cast again.
Yeah. Okay. And the other ones.
Volstagg.
And.
I know this.
The other ones.
Volstagg, Fandral, Sif, and
the purple one with the mace.
Fandral?
That just sounds like Thranduil. Is that what you said, or is that a character from Lord of the Rings?
Fandral, I think.
Oh, maybe it is. Either way, they all get knocked by Hela.
Yeah. Of course, it's.
Oh.
Hogun, Fandral, and Volstagg. Hogun was the one with the mace.
As the Shield agent says, they got Xena, Jackie Chan, and Robin Hood. Which
references
is that racist? He's come up with characters for 2 of them, and he's just called the other one another Asian person.
Doesn't he say Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones? I thought it was Xena, Game of Thrones, and
I thought he said Robin Hood.
Convention.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he says Jackie Chan, isn't it?
Oh, I thought it was Lord of the Rings because he talks about Volstagg. I just assumed it was.
Oh, maybe I'm gonna have to look this up now because I've got. This might be getting cut out.
I don't even know what to Google. Thor
Warriors
reference
3 walking down street. It's just coming up with Spider-Man 3 dance scene.
Warriors 3 arrive on Earth.
In a way, I kind of hope that he did say Jackie Chan.
He does say Jackie Chan.
Yes.
He goes, is there a Renaissance fair in town? And he goes, HQ, we got a Xena, Jackie Chan, and Robin Hood.
I knew it. I knew he said Jackie Chan. I've never been so happy to be right in my life. Yeah, it's a bit questionable. I hope the Destroyer kills that guy.
yeah. I hope he's Hydra.
Oh, that would make a lot of sense. Right, should we move on?
Yeah, we've covered Thor too much. Yeah.
I'll do these three because we've already sort of touched on them. Obviously, I had Ant-Man, Iron Man 2, Thor, and then I had Black Panther. See, I really enjoy Iron Man 2. I'd say objectively, I don't think it's the best, but I'd actually going to kill me for this. I'd rather watch it than the first one, but I think the first one's better because I have a thing where I'd rather watch the sequel because a lot of the time I don't want to pay.
I get that.
And I want to jump into a world where we already know the characters and we don't have to spend time.
I fully get that.
Yeah, and so watching Iron Man 2, it's just a fun Iron Man adventure that I can just jump in and not have to worry about introductions and stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like Iron Man 2 was peak shared universe, even though it wasn't specifically the Avengers, but
it's like the start. It was the birth of it, wasn't it? In a way.
Yeah, and it was like, and it was like the first time you're like, oh wait, other things are going on here. That's Cap Shield and Nick Fury. What? And like
Coulson has to go to New Mexico.
And that was like the early like thing.
Yeah,
but
lots of excitement.
There is like barely any action in it, which isn't all I look for in a film. But
you're not wrong. The villain, is much to be desired.
But it did give us Justin Hammer.
Yeah.
So
I love Justin Hammer.
Who is arguably one of the best MCU characters.
I want to see him do his little dance on stage.
Okay. Do we want to talk about Black Panther?
We can do. We've talked a little bit about it. Obviously, it's the only Marvel film to have a Best Picture nomination at the Oscars.
Well,
some say deserved, some say not. I say whatever. Fine.
I think it's thoroughly entertaining, and I'd watch it. But like you said earlier, I think that last act lets it down, and the fact that all character went into the villain and none into T'Challa.
Yeah. T'Challa didn't really have much of a not that he had much of a role, but
to take away him being the king before we even got to see him be the king.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway, after he went off on a mission in the first Thor, whereas Black Panther was instantly like, no, I'm challenging you. Like, what?
Yeah,
what? We don't know anything about this.
We didn't get to see him do. The only like solid classic Black Panther action in that film is at the beginning where they take down that convoy of cars, and even then you can't see what's going on. It's too dark. And then after that, he gets this weird suit, and then I
knew you were going to say that. That's exactly what I was going to say.
The suit's worse.
I think we can all agree Civil War is the best Black Panther suit.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I like nanotech as much as I say, but it's just too easy of a cop out of.
Yeah.
Just wear a ping pong suit while you act.
They just do it for the quick mask change, don't they?
CGI's a bit whack, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I heard that weren't they like? Did they have really time? They were really restrained for time. Yeah,
and then the corridor crew did a bit on it, and they said like animating people wearing black suits fighting in a dark, cool way, you're going to have trouble because
strange choice considering.
To have any sense of light, you're going to have loads of reflections and things like that at the same, so it's always going to look a bit janky.
Yeah, and it did. But the film's fine. I like it's got it's good world building. I thought I love the designs. The costume designs are great. Like it was a nice introduction to Wakanda, and have you heard that they're doing a Disney Plus series based around Wakanda?
Yeah, I saw something about that the other day.
I'm here for that because it'd be nice to see more of the country, of what goes on in that place, other than just a big waterfall and a throne room and a field.
Interested to see what they do in the next one now with Chadwick Boseman's untimely passing. I think it sounds awful, but I do think it gives them a good chance to make an interesting story going forward now. Yeah, I think they're going to go with Shuri, aren't they? Probably. Or you think not? Lupita Nyong'o. Mbaku. I forgot about Mbaku. I mean, Michael B. Jordan has expressed that he would really like to come back, and
Let's be honest, they could
do through the chest.
People were gonna look. I mean, people are gonna want to see him. Everyone loves him. He's a good villain. He's not. I don't think he's as good.
But I feel like
as people say. To be honest,
if they bring him, I feel like they bring him back. That completely undermines his character's final moment. Races about like throw me in the ocean with my ancestors.
Well, yeah, because he said they might be able to save you, and he's like, nah, I'm not going to be like incarcerated by you people.
Exactly. So even though I agree, and because one, he got so much good character development in that film.
Yeah. I
think bringing him back just undermines all that, and just
But it's going to be interesting to see where they go.
But I might have to give it another watch. I did want to watch it the other.
I think you should. Because I hadn't watched it for like a couple of years, and I went back and watched it because me and Cass went through and watched all of them over the first lockdown, and I think I've got a newfound appreciation for it. But it's still sitting in the middle of my list.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hulk, my number 13, The Incredible Hulk.
My 15, 14.
Sorry.
Iron Man 3, Ant-Man, and Iron Man. So
Iron Man 1?
Iron Man 1 is 13th.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, so do you have that below your Iron Man 3?
No, Iron Man 3 is 15th.
Oh, sorry. So you said all the Iron Man.
Yes, Iron Man 2 is 17th, Iron Man 3 is 15th, and then Iron Man 1 is 13th.
We really do have some big differences.
This is where it's going to get really different, I think. Yeah. Because some of these I don't think you're going to agree with.
So I put Incredible Hulk in the middle just because that's what I think it is. It's a middle.
I'm surprised. I mean, is there anything you've got left to say about Incredible Hulk? Or
I'm just going to plug my YouTube video. Why I like the Incredible Hulk on the Averages Assembled channel. Check it out. Shoddy editing. Bad sentence structure. Watch it.
But we've all got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
It's one more video than I've done. So,
so what reasons have you got for putting Iron Man at what was that, 14?
Yeah, I think it suffers from it's essentially the pilot for the MCU, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, it's his own film, so it's not really. But I don't know. It just, like you said, you prefer watching sequels over the originals.
Yeah.
I had the same problem going back and watching the earlier stuff because I think there isn't that expanded world. It's just its own film.
I guess. Yeah.
And even though it is an entertaining film, now you know what's out there. It pales in comparison.
Do you think? I don't think it does.
It's still an incredibly good film. But I think it was.
You think there's
I'm going to contradict myself now.
10, 12 feels better than it. Do you think?
12 films above it that I'd rather watch over it.
Okay.
I think are better than it.
Okay.
I've done a would rather watch list because I say the top 6. I think.
I think I've done sort of a mixture of because some films I like The Incredible Hulk. I put higher. I don't necessarily think they're better. I just enjoy it. Whereas other films, like say Iron Man, I put spoiler alert higher, higher because I think it's a great film.
Oh yeah, I think it's a great film, but I think it does.
Yeah.
Like the one I've got directly underneath it, Ant-Man, is, I would say, I'd probably be more willing to watch Ant-Man than Iron. Oh, this is
really
hard.
Because I see.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Ant-Man as a film is an Iron Man imitator.
But you have the bold business partner, but it's a part of that.
Makes his own suit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I didn't say it was a perfect film, but it's already within that bigger universe, and it's
true. But it's not.
When did it come out? After Age of Ultron. It was the first new film since the Avengers, other than Guardians.
Yeah. Solo
set on Earth, interacting in an Avengers. It was the first superhero in a post-Avengers Earth.
Yeah.
Which is why I think I like Ant-Man.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's why I like the Ant-Man film.
I enjoy Ant-Man.
Because the Iron Man, I think, suffers from opposite. That was the first Avenger before the Avengers. Yeah. I think again,
not the first Avenger.
Villains being evil out of nowhere. No, not even the second now. Apparently.
Yeah. But I mean, I think Obadiah Stane. He's not a perfect villain, but Jeff Bridges does good with what he's given. Do you not think?
Yeah,
he's menacing.
Yeah, everyone brings in a fantastic performance. Even Terrence Howard.
Next time.
Boy, what could have been?
Nah, Don Cheadle all the way.
Have you seen the thing about how he doesn't believe 1 × 1 is 2 or something like that?
He what?
There's like a weird thing. He doesn't believe one time. Or is it? He doesn't believe 1 × 1 is 1. He thinks 1 × 1 is 2.
What, Terrence Howard?
Yeah.
Well, no wonder he's not thinking War Machine.
Because his thing is like, if I've got 1 here and I times another 1, I've got 2. I'm like, no, that's adding. He went, yeah, but I've got 1 lot by another lot. That's 2. And it's like, huh? And he's like created his own sense of maths. Oh my it's God. Wild.
He was probably, he obviously didn't get the sequel because he wanted to get paid more. He's probably thinking, well, I got 1 million. You said you were going to give me 1 million, so I should have 2 million. And they were like, no, Terrence.
Is that
get the
probably
fuck out.
Oh, I'm so glad he's gone. I don't think he could have married somebody that carried the emotional beats.
The light-hearted kind of. Yeah, Don Cheadle hasn't. He's better with the quips.
Yeah, like, when he's like, "Oh, do you know what's flowing in my veins?" Like cheese whiz. Can you imagine Terrence Howard saying that? Yeah. Like, I don't even know what cheese whiz is.
No, he'd be like, "Next time, baby."
Yeah, I do like. Yeah. It's a shame Don Cheadle hadn't been around since the beginning.
Yeah, that would have.
Because then he would now be the longest-serving MCU character next to Paul Bettany.
Yeah, he would. Oh, I mean, the character is sort of there, but not the actor.
Would he have been in?
He's in. Winter
he would have been in as many films.
Oh. Shit! Yeah.
Yeah, because he's in Age of Ultron.
Oh shit! Yeah. Poor Cheeds got edged out by Terrence Howard.
No, because he wasn't in the Avengers, was he?
Oh yeah, because Jarvis is in the Avengers, isn't he?
Yeah, so he would have lost out there.
Why was he not in the Avengers? We will never know.
Then Vision wasn't in Endgame. So by now they would have balanced out. Oh!
No, because Vision's in WandaVision. Does that count? Does that count?
Well, War Machine's going to get his own show. Hopefully.
Also, he's confirmed to appear in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Don Cheadle said it himself.
There you are then. So...
I can't wait. Not relevant though, sorry. We'll talk about more about Iron Man when we get to.
Sorry, I forgot you've got to high up. It's good that you're number 1 in it.
I don't want to go like blurting out all the reasons I love it when we're talking about number 14.
Okay, what have you got for number 12?
I've got Black Panther.
Okay, I think.
Hold on a minute. I've put Black Panther on it twice.
Right, so I haven't missed one. You just can't count.
Wait, hold on a minute. 1,
Howard.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Yeah, I can't count. I put it on here at 12 and 14.
Which one is it then? Pretty sure that averages out at 13, isn't it?
Okay, so Black Panther and the Incredible Hulk are on the same level.
Well, can you imagine saying that when that film came out?
Oh no! I've just put a Best Picture nominee on the same level as the Incredible Hulk.
I honestly thought he was like, I put Best Picture nominee on the same level as Black Panther.
Oh god. Okay. Well, you know what my number 12 is. How have I done that? Oh, you know why? It's because when I was making the tier list, I moved Black Panther and I put a line through it. But I must have counted that when I was counting up all the doofus. A grade A doofus.
Foolish boy. So wait, what is your number 12 then?
I guess that would make it Thor Ragnarok.
Same! I thought you were going to have yours higher. I thought you were going to be really angry with me then.
No.
Good, but it suffers from the same problem with the Guardians too. It's like, dick jokes.
It's too funny. I like the humour. I think Chris Hemsworth's really funny. Yeah. Chris Hemsworth, sorry. But I think it ruins some of the more emotional scenes.
Yeah, and it's like I said to you in a while back, it becomes predictably subverse. I think Jack Howard said it best, like the bit where he jumps out of the plane. Like you know from earlier on in the film, well, I know what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
Oh. I know he's not going to transform. He will hit it, and yeah, that's funny. But it would have been so much funny.
It's too obvious.
If he hadn't had those types of jokes, like the bit where at the beginning where he's in the chain spinning round.
Yeah.
Like, when it first came out, I wet myself. That was the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
It was so unexpected as well.
Yeah, and it was that, and it was like, oh, brilliant. And then they did the exact same joke again,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right.
I think I do like. I enjoy the idea that Thor, while spending time on Earth and then just zipping about the galaxy looking for Infinity Stones, has somehow picked up this kind of new personality of just, like making fun of everyone and like just being incredibly sarcastic. I like that.
Before it came out, there was all these shorts with him and his flatmate Darren.
Oh yeah.
And then he just wasn't in this film.
You know they had a spare afternoon like when they were filming.
It was Chris Hemsworth grabbing a bite and being like to like one of the camera assistants, like, "You got a camera? Yeah, come with me."
Let's go film stuff. Let's flex my comedy chops in the other room.
But no, I do think I think there are some good moments in it, like the bridge battle. Sure. I think it's brilliant. Odin's death is very touching. Surprisingly,
I feel like I don't know.
You can easily tell it's been reshot, but
yeah. Look out onto this green screen ocean.
Yeah,
this is Asgard.
Windows XP background that we're on.
But we haven't even mentioned Thor and Hulk gladiator battle.
Oh yeah,
it's a good fight. It's a good fight.
It is, but I think that was ruined in the trailer. I think that was
but you can't not. I feel like at that point you couldn't not show Hulk in the film, surely. And if you're going to show him, you've got to show the best bit, which is the surprise that he is there.
But then I don't know. I think you could have teased it. So the trailer ends with where he's all lit up with the super lightning.
Yeah.
And then title card released November 2017, and then had him say something like, "So how you been, big guy?" And then you just have like a shot of like an eye or teeth. So anyone like us would be like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." But anyone else would be like, "Is that him? That's weird. But how would he be in space?"
It's the same difference. So it's the same difference as Spider-Man in the Civil War trailer, though. It's like, do you want to show him to get people to be like, "Oh, I want to go see this because it's got him in it," like, because they didn't necessarily need to show Spider-Man in the Civil War trailer, did they?
But then that's not the first time you see Spider-Man in the film. I mean, it's the first time you see Spider-Man in the film, but you meet Peter Parker beforehand. Whereas that moment in the trailer is the exact same moment we meet the Hulk in the film. So the second he walks into that arena, I know who's coming out that door.
Yeah, but that is I guess so.
I think that's the main difference.
I feel like that. Yeah, I guess that was the bit of the trailer everyone was talking about, wasn't it? That was like the thing.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, a trailer's got to sell tickets and get bums and seats, but it did feel a bit like you could have held on to that a bit better.
Yeah.
I think. Like, could you imagine like?
What if you didn't know that was coming? Yeah.
Yeah, like imagine in the trailer for The Mandalorian if like the last shot had been like, "Are you a Jedi?" and then Luke Skywalker going, "Yes." I mean, actually, that'd have been pretty sick, but you completely ruined that moment.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the same kind of thing.
I suppose it would be like putting Thor's entrance in Infinity War in the trailer for Infinity War.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that one.
Okay, so next on my list.
Yep.
What number are we on?
We're on number 10 now, I believe. Is that right?
Oh, no.
Oh no, sorry, because I had to move everything around, didn't I? So
yeah,
you're on number 11.
So, which is I've got Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Oh, I was about to say, that's similar to me, but I remember I put that all the way back at number 20 because it's not a Spider-Man film.
It's not. No, I agree, but I do enjoy the end battle. I mean, I'm a sucker for anything set in London.
Crumpet Boys.
I shouldn't say that. I do have a soft spot for anything set in London. So seeing Spider-Man on Tower Bridge is a bit like, ooh,
it's cool. That is cool. That's
some cool imagery.
Yeah,
like, you wouldn't normally get that.
Yeah,
but I do agree.
The same, like,
it should be in New York.
Yeah, and like we said with the Doctor Strange final act, the whole thing with Mysterio, how he's not just a superpower guy or a guy in a big robot suit fighting him. It's all illusions and stuff, and he has to obviously he's got his drones, and he has to sort of use his brains to get around all the illusions and shit. And the illusions are great. Like,
that bit is fantastic, and that is where all the good things about Mysterio finish.
The whole Edith thing. It's just such a strange choice for a Spider-Man film.
so needlessly complicated for him to discover Edith, know who he's giving it to, find Spider-Man, find out his powers, befriend him, convince him to give him the glasses, even though he never actually asked for them. Peter just decides to give them to him.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Why don't you take this thing that my dead friend left to me?
Yeah, specifically to me. Right?
The fact that he left it to Peter in the first place is, it's just,
yeah,
I don't know.
Strange. It would have been more poetic if at the end of the film, I don't know if he do see it. No, he doesn't. If he like destroyed the glasses, been like, you know what? Let Tony's legacy die.
Not his legacy.
No, that's the wrong word. But like,
burn him.
Yeah, no.
Put him in the ground.
Because then it could have been a learning moment from Peter. So if you had Mysterio and his eye moment's been like, Tony took everything. Like, okay, let's pretend we rewrote a bit of it and whatever. So same kind of thing. Mysterio likes to get Tony and wants to get Spider-Man because he's being pegged as the new Iron Man by everyone.
Yeah.
So then have Mysterio's last moment be like, Tony took everything from me, and now I've got absolutely nothing. And then you have Peter being like, yeah, Tony needs to stop getting involved, even after death.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the drones fly off, and then they're just in space, and we never see them again.
And then they turn up in Thor Ragnarok through the devil's anus.
No, that is the prime example of Thor Ragnarok going too far with his jokes.
Like, gonna go through the anus?
Because technically that means that portal's called the Coriander, because that's what coriander means.
Coriander means anus, devil's anus.
Yeah.
Really?
Coriander translates to devil's anus. I'm pretty sure it does.
I've eaten so much devil's anus. Or
Billy Smith in year six lied to me, but we'll never know.
Oh, damn it, Billy.
But yeah, I think that because then again you've taught Spider-Man a lesson that, like, the whole I'm not Iron Man, so I don't have to apologize for his mistake. I don't have to fix his mistakes.
It's not his responsibility. He's got his own responsibilities.
Yeah,
comes with a great power.
But then at the same time, it is his responsibility to be a hero and better than one. So he's like, oh, even though I could do so much good with these, there's so much evil I could do with them, and he smashes them in his hand. And I think that.
I like that.
And then you could have done Mysterio doing the whole like, oh, he's Pete Parker.
Yeah.
Spoilers for that 2-year-old film. But
spoilers for every movie ever.
We probably should put this up top, but oh well.
Nope. Spoiler warnings come in the middle.
Okay. So after Far From Home, is there anything else you want to touch on, or are you happy with this?
No, I think I'm. Yeah, as I say, I put it towards the bottom just because I don't have any desire to go back and watch it anytime soon.
No.
I probably will do before Spider-Man 3 comes out.
Yeah, again, it's one of those ones that was like, if you'd rather watch this or Thor Ragnarok, I'd rather watch Spider-Man. But I'd rather watch Far From Home. See, I think that's the case with all of these films below it. That was the first one. Like, this is definitively better. Like, I'd rather watch this more than the others.
Actually, I don't know, because above Thor Ragnarok, I have Spider-Man Homecoming. That directly above.
What, number 11?
Yeah, or 10. My numbers are fucked.
Right, I'm on 11. So we both had Thor Ragnarok for 12.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man's above that.
So yeah, I have Homecoming.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is like an Iron Man situation.
Where did you have you said Homecoming yet? I can't remember.
Yeah.
You haven't. Okay. So again, Homecoming I think is the better of the two films. I like it because it shows him as a kid.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We won't go too much into it. I'll save it for when it gets to your bit. But yeah, I think it's better than Far From Home personally.
Yeah,
clearly you do as well. Just realised.
Far From Home is my least favourite of my top 10. Like, it's number 11, so it just made it out the top 10.
Yeah. So what I say for me with Homecoming. What did you have at number 10? Again, my numbers are fucked.
Okay, so from this point on, we're 10 to 10 to 1.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
My number 10 was Ant-Man and the Wasp. It was just a fun film.
It was.
It was smaller scale, which I always love with Marvel films, especially after Infinity War.
Smaller scale.
But the film coming after Infinity War.
Sorry, carry on.
Spaceship penis. Whoa. I know, I've seen it.
I think you'll find it's the Incredible Hulk. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
I can't stop thinking about your genitals now. Yeah, I remember it was just a fun romp. Like,
yeah,
it was a nice after 8 minutes after the heavy Infinity War.
I think the sentiment there is right. I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah,
but I think
it's
kind of boring.
Really, I think
every size changing moment in that film was in the trailer. Every time he gets big, anything that gets big, it's all in the trailers.
Okay,
stop laughing at getting big.
I wasn't. I was genuinely working out, but okay, maybe I was. Yeah. Okay. No, I
can see why I like it, and like I said, I love Paul Rudd as that man. I think it's great, but he's not needed in that movie. Let's be real here. Like, all the Hope basically is the person that she's a better fighter. She can fly. She's shooting like Pez dispensers, and Ant-Man's just there like, yeah, I get big and pass out.
Yeah, but they needed him because he had the psychic link to think.
Yeah, but that was the way to fucking tie him in. That's the only reason they needed him.
Yeah.
Like, let's give him a weird link in his head to my mum, who's aged, even though Scott doesn't age in Endgame when he's in the quantum realm.
Yeah, but he's only in there for 5 hours.
Yeah, but she's in there for like 20 years, and she looks 20 years older than when she went in.
Yeah, Scott's in there for 5 hours.
No, he's in there for 5 years, but it felt like 5 hours.
Yeah, but she never says it felt like 20. She never says it doesn't feel like 20 years.
But it doesn't make any sense. Why did it not feel like 20 hours to her?
Because she was deeper in the realm.
She was deeper in the makeup section of the quantum realm where they have mascara and eyeliner.
Yeah. Well, I
still like this film. I'll just say.
Yeah, I think you got some valid points. Like, everything was spoiled in the trailer, and also, what's his name? Walter Goggins.
Wally Goggins.
Wally Goggs.
Wally Goggs.
Like 100%, that should have been Justin Hammer.
Oh, imagine.
Like, yeah, I don't know why they didn't get Sam Rockwell back for that.
Yeah.
Because it's not like that character is anything major. It was just
that would have made so much sense.
And like, you could have had him be like, like sucking his lollipop. I'm going to use his pipe. But like, I'm getting out of the weapon industry. It's all about superpowers.
He clearly didn't do well in the suit game, like the Iron Man suit game. So why not go to quantum technology?
Yeah, but or like, even if he was like, I just want pin particles. Like, I can sell superpowers. Like, that could have been his angle, and like, you could have a hammer superpower. That's why he wants it. And then you could even have him meeting with Hope for research. Like, we're working with Justin Hammer because he's a scientist, and really he's just like, no, I want your suit because I want to make him then sell him, which I know was what Yellow Jacket did, but he wasn't.
But also that makes sense because in Ant-Man 1, obviously, what's his name, Hank, whatever, says that he doesn't like Stark, and then to bring in discount Tony Stark.
Yeah, and then
that makes sense.
When Ghost shows up, who is again working independently, Hammer then tries to find her, so that ties that bit into the story because he's like, that's another one I want. I want that suit because that's even cooler than being able to shrink. Is going through walls. Bring his goons into that final. Mix.
That would have made it better. That would have bumped it up from last place on my one.
And
I invented a whole new number for.
Imagine him trying to word mouth off with Louise. When he's giving his spiel. And imagine like he's doing that to Justin Hammer. When he's doing all this spiel about like, Hope's like, oh my god, like, what am I gonna do? Like, if he was doing that with Sam Rockwell, what could have been?
Oh, great. Louise and Justin Hammer in a room.
Even if you do a throwaway line, like when they look at doing the security stuff.
Yeah.
Like Hammer walks in, he's like, oh, good. Like, you didn't account for, I don't know, Russian super spies breaking into your facility or something like that. And then, because I meant to. I don't know. Just should have been Justin Hammer.
Do you know what? Now that we're talking about it, it's making me think that I definitely put it too low. Because I'm starting to think, I kind of want to watch this one. And this is the first one of all the ones we mentioned that I thought I actually kind of want to watch it again now. So that's got to say something.
Yeah, no, I really like it. And all the bits with Scott at home. Had Jimmy Woo in it, who finally learned his card trick.
Good old Jimmy Woo.
Yeah.
I do love Jimmy Woo.
And the other thing I like about it is also the stepdad from the first one, who was kind of like who was basically like the Jimmy Woo of this one.
Yeah.
it's like he's still around, like,
and he likes Scott now.
Yeah, like they pulled a Mrs. Doubtfire, where it's like, I should know, like all the parents do get on, and like they are his friends.
I like that. They're still not hung up on the dad and ex-wife that like each other.
Yeah, and even though he was like the dumb, like, oh, Scott, we're best buddies, like he still knew the law. When she's like, you need a warrant, he's like, no, they don't. No. Like, yeah, well, you can't do this. They can. Yeah. Like, they can't, and it's like, yeah,
the bit where he does the card trick, and he's like, how'd you do that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, oh,
okay, I'll change my mind. I know I'm not going to change my order now, but I think I definitely put it too low.
Yeah. I mean, I got it. I just, again, it was fun, and it was what Guardians 2 should have been, just light-hearted jokes.
I still think that they should make Scott seem more competent in comparison to Hope, because she just seems better in every single way in terms of fighting, brains, like all that shit. Yeah, makes you wonder why. Sorry, Karen. No, sorry.
Well, because he's got his degree in computer engineering, hasn't he? So it should be when they're small. Obviously, he knows electrical stuff, which is like the whole point of electricals. Yeah, nowadays is electronics are getting smaller and smaller, so that ties in the thing. Yeah. So have them in, I don't know, a server or something, and it's like no, don't do that, because that will trip the alarm because of that. And that's how Scott. That's what he's been seeing. He's a thief. He knows how to disable alarms and systems.
And they don't really show that, do they?
Yeah, but Hope is the better fighter, and
he's sort of only there because one, they need what's in his brain, like about their mum, and two, because he has the Ant-Man suit that conveniently has a way of tracking the lab.
Yeah, that's a bit odd.
Which you can walk around like a suitcase.
Do you? I said this only because Ant-Man was the first one to do it. Sorry, I heard about your lab thing, but I just suddenly got thinking because of the moment that comes before that.
Yeah.
Ant-Man was the first film to showcase the Marvel de-aging technology, and it's kind of been like they use it a lot in that film because of Hank Pym and obviously being in the 60s. Do you think they're leading to a point where they can do old school Ant-Man and Goliath film with Michael Douglas and
Lawrence
Fishburne? Lawrence Fishburne.
I'm not Lawrence Fishburne. Please tell me you've seen that.
I have, but I can't watch it because I cringe too much. Yeah, it is cringy. It's like when he's in. Have you ever seen Extras, the Ricky Gervais show?
Oh, no, I haven't. No.
Oh, they do the same joke in that. So Samuel Jackson, because basically the idea of Extras is every episode had a really famous person in it.
Oh yeah. But I've seen the clip with Liam Neeson.
Yeah. But yeah, Samuel Jackson's in it. He comes over to them. All the extras are just sat together chatting, and he comes over and he's like, "Oh hey." Well, I think that's goes, "Oh, I loved you in the Matrix." He's like, "What?" And Ricky's just like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, you're in the Matrix with Keanu Reeves." It's like, "No, I wasn't in the Matrix." No, you definitely were. And it's like, even that, I think, I want to peel my skin off when I watch this. Like,
but yeah, I think in terms of de-aging, I think they could do it now, and in maybe 5 years, but I think if they did it right now, it would probably look a little bit off.
Maybe doing it as a what if, maybe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or like an animated thing, like a Tales of.
I would like to see that.
What if they did a Tales to Astonish series?
Tales to Astonish.
Who are definitely going to be set from the 60s and stuck in the quantum realm, and we show them back in the day. Marvel, if you're listening, give me a call. I've got a banging idea for you. It'd save you a lot of money.
Oh, I've lost you. Hello?
Anyway,
when you said that, you went, what? Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so what are we on? Number 9 now.
Yeah, so for number 9, I have Captain America: The First Avenger.
Wait, what was your number 10? Sorry.
Homecoming.
Oh yeah, we said that. Yeah. So number 9 was The First Avenger.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not too far away from mine. I think I should put this higher.
I like the. What did you put? Number 9.
I've for number 9, I've got Age of Ultron.
Ah, see, I've got that even higher because I really like that film.
See, I do, and I like it for the reason you like your sequels, is because it's an established team. I think you probably think the same.
Yeah, 100%.
And I do, but then I do think it does fall short in some places.
Oh, it's clearly the worst out of the 4, but it's the 4 Avenger films.
It was crap. We need to set up the next 4 films. Or Avengers, you're going to do it.
Yeah, there was a lot of things they could have done differently. But
yeah. All right. Well, we'll come back to this when we discuss.
Yeah.
Just finish there. All right. Number 8. What did you have here?
I've got Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, same.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's 2 out of 23 that we've got in the exact same place right now. Is that right?
Well, also Thor Ragnarok. Because you're misnumbering.
Ragnarok and Guardians, I think it's the 2 that we've.
Didn't we have?
Was it Thor as well, maybe?
And Thor the Dark Thor, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The 2 Thors.
That's 3.
So
yeah.
Far. Yeah. Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Fantastic breath of fresh air from everything that had come before it.
Oh, 100%.
If as much as I hate the phrase, as much as I hate the phrase "lightning in a bottle," this film was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. So much of it shouldn't have worked, but it did work. Like everything's pointing towards like what's Marvel, like what are Marvel doing? Like basically Star Wars, but Chewbacca's a tree, and there's a raccoon,
and Han Solo's a raccoon. Yeah. But then also because it was the first time like James Gunn, I think is he the first director and writer of a film?
At that point.
Maybe
John Favreau.
I don't think. Well, they kind of wrote it on set, didn't they?
Yeah, but he I think it's the first time where it's like this was all his.
Yeah, they
were just Guardians is James Gunn, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I don't think anyone else can do it. Like he's been brought on. I think he's an exec producer on Thor 4 now because the Guardians.
Oh, that would make sense.
To do with that. Like, and
he was on Infinity War as well because obviously very Guardians heavy.
Yeah, but then like jumping to Infinity War, I think Guardians set up such a good tone that in Infinity War, as soon as it says space and you hear 80s pop music, you're like, oh yeah, bang, Guardians, we're here, like
100%.
Cool. And I don't think that could have happened without the first Guardians.
No, and obviously at that point it was the weirdest stuff that had been in the Marvel films, like probably across any Marvel film, not even the MCU. Like,
I mean, are we counting Howard the Duck?
Nobody ever counts Howard the Duck. Yeah, so just all around.
We're just gushing about it, really.
All around, it was just a good film, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it does exactly what it needs to do. It doesn't outstay its welcome. The humor works. It doesn't overplay itself. It's just,
I even enjoyed
similar to Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's that nice kind of, which some argue is cringy. It's me. I am some, but
it is. But I think Star-Lord it sums him up, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's kind of like the Avengers, but dirty and rougher.
Yeah, a little bit of good, a little bit of bad, a little bit of both. Age of Ultron.
Oh, I've got Infinity War.
Oh, you've already said Age of Ultron, haven't you?
Yeah, Age of Ultron.
Okay.
I think we covered. To be honest, I think we covered most of it.
Yeah.
Already.
What, Age of Ultron or Infinity War? Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
just in everything else.
Yeah.
It's got the same issues that the other ones have got. I think it's just a case of it's too busy. I think it had too many moving parts all at once.
Yeah, trying to set up lots of things. I enjoyed the new characters that it brought in, though. I enjoyed Ultron. A lot of people didn't. I thought he was quite menacing, even if he was quippy.
Yeah, I didn't like his design.
Did you not? I didn't mind it. I think I preferred
They gave him lips.
Yeah, but that's just because. Yeah, but then the comic version is just like a solid face, isn't it? It's not.
I think that could.
I don't want to. But I don't want to watch a metal dome blinking a red light. And that's the villain. Do you know what I mean?
Wait. Okay. This is a leading question. So, would you not find that threatening?
I think I'd find it more threatening when I can put a face to.
Okay.
The villain.
So, and this is you're probably going to laugh, and probably an obvious answer. Do you not find like Daleks or Cybermen scary?
No, I don't think I do.
Because neither do I.
I've never really been a Doctor person anyway, but
that's fair. But no, I think there's a way of doing it without that. Like in my head, Ultron. It sounds so bad. No, not like in my head. Ultron is like the comic face for like the big bug eyes and like robot. And he still quips, but he quips in a robotic voice. So he's like, if you want to break eggs, you have to make an omelette. And he's just so so robotic. That's why it's freaky. Like and that's why he wants to become human. It's maybe because he knows he's not.
He's like, I think a lot about meteors.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly reply to this message. I'm being very rude. I do apologize.
That's okay. I'll allow it. I'll think of more reasons why I like Ultron's lips.
It's the same. It's the same thing with Optimus Prime. I don't know why they gave Optimus Prime lips.
So you can kiss him.
Well, yeah, that too. You can suck my dick.
Autobots, pucker up.
Okay.
Okay.
Age of Ultron. I think
it's probably the weakest of the 4 Avengers films, but I still enjoy it because it's the most Avengery film that there is.
And I think it just suffers from the place it came out in. Yeah. Okay.
But, number 6.
Number 6. I have the First Avenger.
Ooh, okay. Well, let's talk about that because I had it at number 9.
So
clearly we both like the film.
I really like it.
Yeah, I've warmed to it a lot over the years. I used to not like it that much.
Yeah, same. I remember I was watching it 2 or 3 Christmases ago. I was watching it as I was wrapping presents. I don't know why. And I just remember being like, this is actually good. Like, it's such a good film.
It is. Like, the only criticism I have, and it is the only one, is that you see Captain America's being Captain America through a montage. You don't really get any sense of how long he's been doing this, like how many missions he's been on. It's just a quick few shots montage, and like boom, suddenly, like, are we supposed to know that he's been Captain America for a couple of years or whatever? Like, what?
Yeah,
I still don't
know.
The
best way they should have done that is done it through seasons. So made a big point of him being like, when he's performing for the troops, being like, "Oh, come on, buddy, this is the beginning of your spring tour around Europe,"
or even just like passing comments. Yeah,
and then by the time you get to the train. With Bucky's death, it's winter, so you know that he's been here a full year.
Those few clips that they show could have all been in 1 week for all we know. But then I'm pretty sure he is Captain America for a few years before he goes in the ice, isn't
he?
He must be, because he says he quickly rises through the ranks. Blah blah blah.
Do you think he was ever like close to being promoted? And he was like, but Corporal America just doesn't sound the same.
General America, don't know about that. Yeah.
General Knowledge, that's a guy you want to follow into battle.
General Knowledge.
Private property.
So I had. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just one last thing about First Avenger. What really gets me is the music. I think Captain America's theme is just.
It's the one I find myself singing all the time.
Yeah, well, that, like, even I'm like, right.
It makes you feel patriotic.
Yeah, because it plays at the end of the
Donald Trump?
Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer, which I never realised until I was watching. Like I said, when I was watching these clips the other day, on the title card when they come in, it plays.
And it's like and a bit of an updated version. Yeah.
So I do like that, but also I can't remember if it's the credits or the very last thing before the credits. It's Peggy gets his file and she opens it, and there's a picture of Buff Steve, and then behind is Skinny Steve.
Yeah.
And it must be the last thing because the last thing's in the modern day, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's that last bit of reminding you that he is just
he's the little guy
kid from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. I'm just a kid from
Brooklyn. He's a little guy that's standing up like, no, that's not right. Yeah. And then just seeing that, and it does get me. I proper get goosebumps and
it's a great period piece as well. Is that the right word? Like it. Yeah, sure. It looks and feels like World War II ish. Do you know what I mean?
The set design is like production design is on point.
I think it's really good. And the skinny effect is great as well, isn't it? It's almost flawless. Like it's only because we know what Chris Evans' face looks like. That's the only thing that makes it weird.
Yeah.
Even not that it is weird, but it's the only thing that makes it slightly weird.
Yeah, for all the technical stuff hits perfect and story beats track. I don't think there's a single scene I'm like skip.
I like the Red Skull as well because he is just that classic what's the word, like maniacal villain. Yeah,
like he's this close to being a pantomime camp.
Yeah, look at me and my big red face.
I love it. I think it is. Yeah. It was on this list. It was the first film I was like, that was like.
I knew I was going to have it.
Until I got some other ones to it. Yeah. I went. Oh no, it's not. Obviously not. I was gonna say it's my favorite Phase 1, but it's not.
I have a couple above it.
All right. So what have you got as number? Right.
For number 6.
Yeah.
I've got Endgame.
Oh.
And this is only. it got knocked down a peg by the 5 that I've got above it.
Okay, well, I will quickly say Endgame is my number 5. So if you want to quickly talk about it now.
Okay, right. So obviously I love Endgame for all the reasons that everybody that likes Marvel likes Endgame. Let's be real. The only reason
before you say your butt on the count of 3, because I have the exact same, but I have a big butt of why it's lower down.
Okay.
Let's see if it's the same point. If not, then we'll just re-record this bit. Okay. So 3,
okay.
3, 2, 1. It's quite.
The middle's
heavy.
Boring. Oh.
Oh, okay. All right then. No.
It's not boring. I didn't say that right. I just trying to think of a quick way to say it, but it's. There's
no,
there's
what you mean. It's like
there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it, and I think the middle acts, the time travel bit, some of it does get bogged down. Like on rewatch, because it is such a long film. When you get to stuff like the Morag bit or the other planet, whatever it's called, the Death Planet.
Full amnesty or something.
Not Morag. I just said Morag. Vormir. Yeah, the Soul Stone's on Vormir.
Is
that right?
So it's not Nom Stagalir or something like that. Oh, that's where
Nividalir. Yeah, that's the axe place.
You know what I mean.
Well, I just feel like on rewatch when it gets to those scenes, I find myself thinking, "Oh, I wish it would just get to the final battle."
I was thinking that in cinema when it went back to before Black Widow's sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like when it cuts back there, I was like, I want
to see the final battle. I mean, I saw this film. It's the film I've seen most times in the cinema. I saw it 4 times.
Yeah, I think I saw it 4 times in a week.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's more than I've seen any of the others in the cinema, and I love it. I do love it. And that last, obviously, the portal scene,
the hammer bit,
phenomenal. Yeah,
you're kind of strong. Yeah, but like those were like, you know that you hear like the Darth Vader reveal when Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Or the first time you see Superman change. I remember my dad saying that the first time you saw Superman change, it's in the old Superman films.
Yeah.
In the revolving doors, everyone cheered and was like, "Whoa!" Oh no, the bit where he rips shirt open. Like, everyone was like, "Hey!" Like we got that was our generation's thing.
Oh, 100%.
And it was honestly like, if I ever have to cast a Patronus, that is probably what I'm thinking about. Like that's the nerdiest thing I'll ever say. But
I mean. No, I can't say anything. Like when the portal scene happened, I think I did cry.
I think I watched the portal scene maybe once a fortnight, if not once a week.
I watched it the other day, and it was a Mickey take one. Do you know when it was something to do with the American election, and someone made like a meme video of all of these like I don't know what Democrats were coming out of the portals, and even just watching the scene in the background getting me all tingly and giving me goosebumps.
It's the whole time, like, and especially I mean. They didn't know, but the bit where because the first person to walk out is Chadwick Boseman, or Black Panther, I guess. Poetry. And even now you think like,
so if
he was there, it's just
everything about that. I love it. The character,
even from him using like when he pulls the shield up and he like stands up, you think, yes, like
that's my boy.
My only criticism with that scene, God, we could do a whole episode on Endgame. My only criticism with that scene is it's very dark and dusty.
It's gloomy.
Like it's dirty. And I think,
it looks like
you look at the final battle from the first Avengers, set in the middle of the day in New York.
Very, very bright.
Very bright. You know exactly what's happening. Yeah. Whereas this one, you think even Wakanda and
Tyson.
No, Sky City falling to the ground. What's it called in Ultron?
Oh, I was about to say Slovakia then.
Sokovia. Yeah, I'm so glad we're not recording video. Jesus.
I mean, technically,
like even those, they're set in the middle of the day. Even Titan in Infinity War is set.
Like during the day.
That's what you said. Yeah. Well, it's bright.
Yeah, it's
whereas
bright.
Endgame's right. It's like
so
when you've got so many characters, you think I can't follow anything. Like, what?
But that's what is good on rewatch is that you can sit and pause, and the amount of stuff you see going on in the background. Like there's just so much stuff going on. Like even if you just watch where the two armies clash, you see Captain America absolute fucking doinks Carl in the face with his hammer. Like there's a bit where I just love the combinations as well. Like Drax is just on his back, just stabbing him, and Korg just runs up and doinks him in the face. Like there's so like,
I'm annoyed Drax never got a moment with Thanos because that was his whole thing. Was like, I'm taking down Thanos, and like not even like. a licking.
We could talk forever about what they could have done.
Yeah, I mean, it's mainly in Infinity War on Titan. He should have had a moment where he was like, I'm getting hit in.
He was incredibly sidelined in those films.
But but no, I do think Endgame is a brilliant film. But
it's the best. It's the best that what they could have done with that. Like they couldn't have done it. I don't think any better.
No, not at all. And like where you say it's boring, I think that's the same kind of thing I mean when I say it's heavy. It's just like I wouldn't be able to watch it from halfway through and enjoy it properly.
Yeah,
I'd have to sit down and like, no, if I'm going to watch this,
it's a bit of a slog.
And again, it's 3 hours long. Like,
it's very long. I did have to go for a week when I saw it.
Waited all day to watch it. It's like, So that's why I've put it at number 5. Yeah, that's why I've tracked it down.
My number 5 was Civil War.
Ooh, interesting. What was your number 6?
Endgame.
Oh, yeah, right. Endgame. That mine. Okay.
Yeah.
Civil War. Oh, okay. I feel like our top.
I'm assuming you have it higher by that reaction.
Okay, I think I know what your top 5 is now.
Yeah.
Civil War is not that much higher, but I think you're gonna be very.
I know.
Interested by my number 4. Okay, what have you got for number 4?
Okay, I've got Iron Man at number 4.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. I think it's quality. I think it's the film that stands the best on its own out of all of them.
Okay.
Because it was on its own.
I agree. Yeah, again, it's a film.
But it also, it was a product of 2008. Like, it's a very 2008 superhero film, but it's probably the best film from that best superhero film from that decade. I mean, you can argue Dark Knight and some other ones, but I think it works pretty well. And we talked about it already. But
I think the thing is, and this sounds so like non-film buffy, like whatever, I don't care. But if I'm going to watch an MCU film, I want to watch it for it being MCU. As part of that. For the MCU.
I agree with that. Like that.
Whereas with Iron Man 1, I would, if it was like, would you rather watch Iron Man 1 or the Raimi trilogy? I'd be like, well, I'd rather watch Raimi trilogy. Because even though Iron Man is in the MCU, it's kind of like, nothing's happened yet. Like, this is like the preview of what's to come. Yeah. Which is a bad way of looking at a film, I guess.
But it is. I think it is the best origin story out of all of the MCU ones.
Yeah,
you can't like. I don't think you can argue.
But the beats are play by play.
Oh well, yeah, but that's just probably something we've come to be accustomed to.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
Because Doctor Strange and Ant-Man are essentially two very similar films to Iron Man for different reasons.
Yeah, I have Iron Man far too low. I've got Iron Man below Far From Home. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Oh, but then again,
no, it's all personal preference. It doesn't matter. I really enjoy it, and I just love. I think Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr.'s performance is best. Out of the 3 Iron Man movies, that is his best. Tony Stark.
Yeah, hands down.
Yeah,
like no question about it. No. Okay, my number 4 is the Winter Soldier.
I knew you were going to do this.
Yeah, I know, because I know exactly where that is on your list. It was a tough battle. Like this, these top 5.
My top 6 are all interchangeable.
Could be apart from maybe number 1, but the other 2 to 5.
I think I know what you have in number 1. We'll see, because so my number 3. Wait, what was your number? Your number 4 was
Winter Soldier.
Okay, we'll talk about that again in a minute.
Yeah. All right.
My number 3 was Infinity War, and you've already had that on the list, haven't you?
Yeah, I had that down at number 7.
Yeah, see, I love it. I thought Infinity War was great.
It's good. Same problem is I haven't rewatched it recently. I think because every time if I go to watch it, I think I'd rather watch Endgame because
Well, see, that's the thing. I think Infinity War.
But I do think it's a better film.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be better film. It's just not as satisfying. When I first watched it and I came out in cinema, I was like, did I hate that? Did I hate it? I was like, it blew my mind so much, and I was so angry because I had all these expectations about what I thought the Infinity War was going to be. So when I came out, I just sat there and I just couldn't fathom what had just happened.
No, I get that.
But then obviously after Endgame and looking back at it, it's a quality film, and like all of the team ups are great, and the unconventional team ups, and it just works really well as a film. And then the incredible gut punch at the end.
Yeah, no, I do think it's a better film, and like I appreciate it kind of goes against the grain, and like it came out, Thanos is the person you spend most time with in that film, and
it's his film.
It does a really good job of setting stuff up, but
yeah,
it is just as heavy as Endgame. I say heavy, it's probably the wrong word, but like just as exhausting as Endgame.
Yeah,
and I think if I'm gonna watch one of the two, I'll put Endgame on, because that's
I guess watching.
I'm comparing those two films.
Well, essentially, they're two parts of the same film, aren't they? Really.
Well, that's it. It's like to go back to Harry Potter. If you're going to watch Deathly Hallows, would you watch the first one or the second one?
Do you know what?
I'd really watch the first one on its own.
I can't remember what happens in each one.
It's okay. Just read the books; they're much better.
I like how we just completely gave up on everything that I said at the beginning, and I've completely forgotten.
I think we got too much into talking about them.
I think we care about this too much.
We do.
Any of my childish jokes. What was your number 3?
My number 3 is Civil War.
Okay. That's not. Our top films aren't too different.
No, so wait. You said Civil War already, haven't you?
I had it at number 5.
Yeah. Okay. This is so interesting because you're going to absolutely scream when you hear my number 2. I think Civil War, because the reason I put it above Winter Soldier is because it's similarly again to the Endgame and Infinity War thing. If I'm watching Winter Soldier, I'd rather watch Civil War.
See,
because it has got that more developed world. But again, I do think Winter Soldier is the better film. Do you like? It's a weird system.
There's a difference between thinking something's a better film and one you want to watch more.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
Yeah, and like I do really like the Winter Soldier. Like,
I love Civil War.
And Civil War gave us Spider-Man, which
Black Panther
was perfect. Well. And I got. No, go on. I was
going to say my favorite thing about Civil War is what they did with Falcon, because as anybody who's listening may or may not know, Falcon is my favorite MCU character, and I will die on that hill. And I even have a little bobblehead of him on my desk right here with me, watching over me as I do
nerd.
This. But the fact that so he's introduced in Civil War in Winter Soldier, and he's a guy with wings and he's got a couple of little pew pew guns. But in Civil War, they give him obviously got red wing. Like he uses the way he uses his wings. Like all the characters, the way they use their powers is much more developed, isn't it?
That's what I was going to get to. This is the peak of the MCU.
Yeah.
Like no. Let me change that. This is like the peak of the Avengers team. So you know how you liked Age of Ultron because it was the most Avengers film.
I loved them showing the team being the team, just doing Avengery things at the beginning of the film. Yeah. Vision and War Machine weren't there, which is weird because they probably would have helped out quite a bit against Crossbones.
I feel like in an original draft of the script there was a big highway fight scene where you've got everything that happens normally. They're in the market chasing Crossbones, and they're trying to get the super weapon or whatever it is.
The biological.
Meanwhile, there's a shootout on the bridge with the police and whatever, so the police can't get to the town, get to the market or whatever, and then that's where War Machine and Vision were going to be.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Them both come down, poof, no, about to ruin your day. But I think somewhere along, if I was writing that scene, that's where I'd have put them. Is have them do it.
Yeah, because you can't really have
they're still involved part 2, and they can have some banter with Sam or whatever, and be Sam flies over, past that, goes to give him a hand, and they can be like, "Oh, you call that flying or something?" And and then you can do a whole Air Force, Air Colonel, remember? And then again, bring them into the team and show their relationship, but then they don't have to be involved because they are heavy hitters, I think.
Yeah.
So there's no
you can understand why they weren't there, script wise. But I think every character is portrayed well in that film. I love having Tony Stark as the opposite. The age of the opposite side.
And I mean, we're still like this now. it was the most natural progression. It was not progression. It was a natural feeling to be unsure on what side you sat.
Yeah,
like both sides had valid points.
Yeah, and I think that probably was quite a hard job to do.
Yeah, like I agree that if I was one of the individuals, like, I wouldn't want to be controlled by the government. Like, no, I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. At the same time, as me now, I'm like, if there was a group of super people out there, I want to know who they are and where they are. Like, hands down.
You can't go to another country and kill random people without being told, like without being allowed. But at the same time, you don't want the American government telling you what to do.
Yeah, especially the American government.
Exactly.
But then, Rody says, it's not the American, it's the UN.
It's all the countries.
Well, but that's what I mean. And it was a real. It wasn't like either or.
I mean, we could literally argue all day about like pros and cons for each side. I think.
But talking of antagonists, sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
I was
going to say about Zemo. I think is like the start of the Disney villain, Marvel villain, like salvation. Because I think
where they start getting better.
Yeah, he was the first one where it's like, I mean, we said in Doctor Strange and in what was the other one?
Thor: The Dark World. What are you talking about? Bad villains or
bad? Yeah, where like the villain isn't a big CGI. Oh, I think it was Far From Home. But like, he was the villain, but he wasn't the end.
He wasn't the big fight.
Game.
Yeah.
No, and he was smart enough to be like.
Yeah, he was an intellectual villain rather than a physical threat.
Like he says himself, like, "Oh, I can't stop them. Stronger people have tried. The only thing that will stop them is themselves."
Yeah.
So he had to very fair enough. It was a very convoluted plan.
Well, yeah.
To get them to fight, but it was also, if you rewatch it, his plan has nothing to do with the Sokovia Accords. That's just a happy coincidence on his part.
Yeah.
That they fell out over that, because his plan was just to blame it all on Bucky, which he knew Captain America would go to and defend.
Yeah. You get mad about it,
which would put them at odds, and like things like he was drip feeding him clues. It had nothing to do with the Accords.
Yeah, really. That just happens to be a part of the film, and it all works. It works. Like it's not Batman v Superman.
Exactly.
Convoluted. Like it's a good version of that, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. They punch for a bit and then they're mates.
Yeah.
Or they're mates for a bit and then they punch.
And then they're mates again in the next movie.
So what was your number 3?
Infinity War.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we just spoke about that, didn't we?
Yeah. So my number 2. I'm really interested. I feel like I'm missing a film for you for number 1, but my number 2 is Avengers Assemble, the first one.
Okay. Well. Okay. I was going to say spoilers. I've got Avengers as number 1. So
I thought you might. So what have you got as number 2 then?
Number 2 is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh shit, we haven't talked about it, have we?
75% because of Michael Keaton and the Vulture.
He is a fantastic villain, isn't he?
I would go out on a limb and say the best Marvel villain.
He's definitely up there.
Because the best Marvel villain. Because like the bit where Peter's on the plane and he's like chasing down, he webs on at the end.
Yeah.
In the cinema, I found myself going like, just let him have this one.
Just let him have it. Yeah.
Like, just let him, like, he's clearly said like, this is my last job and then I'm done.
Well, it's the perfect example of you fit, like you see his point of view, don't you?
Yeah, that's what
you can sympathize with him.
And it was,
And I mean, he does straight up murder a guy.
He didn't mean to.
Sort of by accident.
Yeah, by accident, and then he just has no remorse, which is like, okay, fine. And he just tried to drown Spider-Man.
Do you know what the best scene in that film is when he's driving them to prom?
Yes, and he has that
and he's thinking about it, and he's like, is this guy? I think what's
even,
going on here? And as he realizes, the light on his face from the traffic light goes from red to green. And not only does that symbolize that, now he knows, but also he's the Vulture. You know, now he's like, oh, this is Spider-Man. I'm going to kill this kid.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
It's great.
Yeah. But even outside of that scene of them in a car, I feel like every teenage boy can relate. Like,
with the girlfriend's
dad. With girlfriend's dad, you think, oh my god, you want to like, haha, yeah, I'm funny and quirky, and he's trying to catch you out or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so. And I don't know. Personally, I did not see it coming, him being Liz's dad. So when he opens, because there's that fun montage of him like getting ready, and then he opens the door,
and it's him.
It was like, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's another villain related to Spider-Man, but
related to.
Well, like all the Spider-Man villains have something to do with Peter Parker.
Sorry, yeah, I thought you were going to say it's another villain basically created by Iron Man, which is a running theme throughout these films.
Yeah,
but
also damage control should have just been S.H.I.E.L.D., but fine. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But that whole thing with him being Liz's dad, that's such a Spider-Man thing, isn't it? Like that's what Far From Home doesn't have.
Yeah, it doesn't have that.
Homecoming is set in New York. He's at school. It's his girlfriend's dad is the Vulture doing shit in New York. Like it's just
like I remember, to go back to him, Jack Howard said it best with Homecoming was like when you see him doing his Spider-Man stuff in New York, he's just doing it in the small suburbs, like just bike robberies and just like little petty crimes. But by the time we should have our feelings about Far From Home notwithstanding, by the time you see him swinging from the big New York skyscrapers, it should make you feel like, oh yeah, he's grown to that point. Like
whereas
he is now Spider-Man. Like
Far From Home didn't really make that progression, did it?
No, but that's okay.
That's more about Far From Home.
I mean, you do see him in the city, but you don't see Spider-Man saving the city and then being like, oh yeah, he's New York's hero. Yeah, because there's 100 superheroes in New York. So that's the only, but that's not to do with this film. I think this film hits the Spider-Man nail on the head. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And Tom 100%. Holland just absolutely,
he's great, isn't he?
Out of the park.
Yeah,
like
our fellow British chum, Tom Holland. Holland, some would say.
Holland.
Oh, excuse me, I can't disagree with you having that high. I mean, I've got it at number 10, so it's in my top 10. Yeah. But I just think,
I mean, I do like Spider-Man as well. He is one of my like, I'd probably say top 5 superheroes. Definitely top 5 Marvel.
That would be a topic for another video, my friend. Not video, podcast.
Podcast.
So should we talk about Avengers Assemble then? Should we talk about that, or do you want to talk about Winter Soldier first?
Why? What's your number 1, Lewis?
Oh shit! I've spoiled it.
It's Winter Soldier. Do you want to talk about Winter Soldier and then do end on Avengers?
Yeah, we'll end on Avengers.
Given we've both got that quite high, I think that'd be quite nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So Winter Soldier. I mean, again, perfect film. I think it's outstanding.
It's my number 1. It's my favorite Marvel film.
Yeah.
When I came out of this, obviously at that point, Captain America he hadn't been that cool. Back then, I didn't really like the first Avenger that much. He was a bit of a wussy in the Avengers films. He was sort of just Captain Gymnast. That sort of all he did. And then when they find like that scene of him taking the boat, and he just fucking kicks guys over the edge and like he's breaking their backs. It looks like he like, throws a knife in a guy's hand.
Bourne,
it's just a really good combination of like a spy sort of thriller. And
with
and
that,
it's,
just that
picture
of MCU,
film.
Like,
it's the
Falcon
best,
wings and all that.
Yeah, it's the best characterization of Black Widow that we've had so far. I think maybe not our best hair, but our best characterization.
It's the best humanizing of her.
Yeah, sure. And I think that's right. Well, I guess Endgame as well, but it's just the best. It's the best. I don't know. It's just the film that she shined the most in, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like you needed her in it as well.
Oh,
like 100%. She could have easily been Sharon Carter, and they could have done that. But I think making it Black Widow, that platonic relationship between the two, like,
and the film introduced Falcon, my boy.
Oh, can we have a wank over him or something? Leave off the podcast. no, I do think
it's cute. Go on, pet him.
Yeah, no, I do think like if I said to someone who's like, oh, I don't really like superhero films, I always go to like watch Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
like
for sure. Out of all the MCU films,
yeah, and like again, I can't sing its praises enough. One of the films, I don't think there's a single beat that goes wrong.
No,
either 3 films. If you like to watch Winter Soldier, Spider-Man, but Spider-Man.
Yeah,
maybe not at the minute because I'm just.
I watched Winter Soldier.
I
watched Winter Soldier about 4 days ago. And just because I thought, you know what, I've watched in a while.
Okay.
Winter Soldier. So it is fresh in my mind, but I always knew I was going to put it at the top regardless.
Yeah.
Which just leaves the big one. Your number 1, my number 2.
I think Winter Soldier was the first time I ever saw a film in cinema twice. In fact, I think I saw it the next day.
Wow. I mean, I saw it 3 times.
No,
twice. I saw it twice.
It's either that or Man of Steel, which is a bit sad now I think about it.
Mm.
Sorry, anyway, don't introduce Avengers.
I was gonna say it's your number one, my number two, so we clearly quite like it.
The inspiration for this podcast.
It was, I mean, everybody knows it. Yeah, it was the first movie where they'd had loads of other movies and then brought them together.
Yep.
Is that right?
A cornerstone of cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what so many other companies have tried to emulate.
Yeah, like it is.
It's
I don't even want to say it's the template for it because no one has been able to do it as good.
It shouldn't have worked. It's like we said about Guardians. It probably shouldn't have worked, but it did.
Yeah.
They balance all the characters right. So yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to do like Howard the Duck or something like that. And I was like, all right, I'll keep feeding you this bit just in case. I do. I agree 100% with what you said. Like, they took the difference is with, and everyone said it. Like, this isn't a hot take, but because they took their time with it and they get like,
they built it up over.
They gave these characters the respect to like flesh them out and get them to where they are. Yeah. So by the time you did get them together, like the trailer, I don't think they even introduced Iron Man. Like, he just appears in the trailer. You're like, oh,
yeah,
cool.
Well, because you don't need to. They're not treating everyone like an idiot, are they?
It's so weird. Have you ever rewatched the Avengers trailer?
Oh, and it's like, we're in this together now.
Yeah, it's like it's all over the place.
Yeah,
and it's like there's a really obvious stitch where Fury goes like, Cap, you're up, and it's like, all right, this is a bit jarring.
It was back in the day where they used to like stitch sentences together to make them.
Yeah.
But
whereas nowadays they'll film entire scenes that aren't in the films.
Yeah, and they'll CGI out someone's butt or hammer.
Whose butt did they CGI out?
I just meant general.
Oh, okay. I was trying to think because I was thinking of in Infinity War, the scene of them all running towards the camera.
Yeah. Oh, that wasn't in the movie, was it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. You're like, the CGI someone's butt. Like the Hulk, like
if you go back and watch it, Captain America has no butt throughout that entire movie.
That's America's ass.
But I honestly don't think there's much we can say about the Avengers other than that it is just great. Like, obviously, it's not a perfect film, but it's perfect.
It might be hard to argue with you there.
I think certain stuff, like some of the scenes that like they're from a TV show, in terms of when they're having conversation, you know, that when they're arguing all in the Banner's lab on the helicarrier.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like, compared to some of the Russo films, doesn't look very Avengery. It looks kind of like a Flash TV show,
like a second unit,
like a CW kind of.
See, I think because like that scene also does have a few Dutch angles, and it's a bit. But I think that's. I mean, I'm gonna get like Ponzi here, but I think that's because of the scepter, and like it still give you that sense of unease, like they're fighting and like.
There's a bit where it like twists upside down, but I just mean in terms of production design, like it just looks like, if you look at Thor's armor, it looks kind of plastic. Obviously, you got the Captain America suit, which is, I don't think anybody.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's probably his worst one.
I get what you mean.
It just. Yeah, that's the only comment I have. I still have it at number 2. I love this film.
Oh yeah, no, it is my all-time favorite film. I think.
How old was I? I was 15. We were 15 when this came out, and I was like a 7-year-old in the cinema. Like, even my dad was clapping at the film in the cinema. Like when Hulk punches Thor after they take down the big space whale thingy. Like, my dad was just clapping and just laughing his ass off, and I was like, such like pure joy like that. I only felt during the first Avengers and Endgame in the cinema. I mean,
it's so. I'm so glad in it. I mean, I have seen it in cinema since, like on we saw Winter Soldier. They did like a marathon.
Oh, you didn't see it in the cinema, did you?
No, I saw it on a Blockbuster DVD while our house was being renovated. So it was me and stuff sat in our living room on a Thursday night before school. I think like this time of night it finished like 10 o'clock. Yeah. I remember sat on the sofa afterwards, just staring at the TV like, I remember just being like, just sitting there watching the entire credits, not even for like the final scene, just because I was like, I am blown away. It changed. That's safe to say, it changed my life. That film. Like, the next day I was good.
we wouldn't be here right now recording this if you didn't watch that film on DVD that night.
Well, yeah, exactly. I would have done that. I wouldn't have spent the next week Googling everything I can about these characters and the history of the Avengers and raving about this film to everyone I knew, and then rewatching the old ones. I said the old ones, the ones that came before it, the Iron Man up till First Avenger, which was weird because I think you saw them.
I saw them
before Avengers. Whereas I saw them Avengers in order, and then went back. It's like when Hawkeye shows up in Thor. I had no idea that happened. Someone would be like, "Oh,
it's such a weird. It's weird how we had different perspectives on it because I saw each one in the cinema as they came out, so I knew it was all leading up to it. Whereas you watched the team up and then went back. But the team up still worked perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a testament.
Yeah,
I think because the Russo brothers said it was only up till Civil War they were stopping going back in catching people up to speed. And then by Civil War, if you people know it by now.
If you're watching it, you're gonna know at this point.
But that first Avengers film was just it's something else.
So good, isn't it? So many good moments.
And my biggest worry is it's slowly going to get buried over time by things like Endgame and Infinity War, which we've already established were events and spectacles. But I think the first Avengers, if I could only watch one film for the rest of my life, it'd be a strong.
As soon as you said that, you're like, ooh.
Well, because my top 3 films always falter depending on time of year and mood. So it's Hot Fuzz, Back to the Future, and Avengers. And
at Christmas, Die Hard. No.
Iron Man 3.
Those are some good choices.
But I can't stop gushing about this film. I know it probably verbatim, word for word. I can come in it, but I don't know what's happening.
What does Hawkeye say to Banner?
Nothing. They don't speak until
in any of the first 2 Avengers films.
Yeah, they don't speak until Endgame.
They don't.
That is wild. I think I worked out another character, another pair of characters who don't speak until later on. I can't think now, but there's some. I think maybe Romanoff and Thor. I don't think they speak. Oh, the only line is he's adopted.
Oh, you kill 80 people. Yeah. So I guess But yeah, I mean, Avengers quality.
Oh, I love it so much. I want to watch it now.
Well, that was 10. That was our rankings. I mean, it's probably impossible to figure out what we ranked for what, but it happened. There we go. Maybe I'll put it on our Instagram. Maybe I'll put our rankings on Instagram.
Yeah,
we have an Instagram, by the way.
Have an average. Oh, do we?
We do, yeah. I made one.
Oh, yeah, I follow it.
Oh my god, this is going to be so long. Okay, should we sign off?
Yeah, let's sign off.
Okay, well, thank you for listening to this episode of Averages Assemble. We assembled our list of our favourite MCU movies.
Yeah, subject to change because we are but human.
Yeah. So if you want to follow us on Instagram or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Averages
you should
Assemble.
Definitely do that. Yeah. Follow us on Twitter and Insta separately. I'm sure you can find links somewhere.
Yeah, I'm Creechmaster.
Because I'm at Geo Dursley because I'm a boring son of a bitch.
Okay, well, we'll see you next week for WandaVision.
Sweet dreams.
Bye.
Love you.